Perfect. All right, come in, take a seat. We're going to get started. Again, just like when we had broken up into groups last time, we're going to have about 10 minutes of instruction. I'll then show off the video for you online students. And then we will break up into groups, and at the very end, we will present everything that we came up with. Gabriel, I'm loving the stash, man. You look like you should star in some like Mexican film. It's like, yeah, jump off a bus and explodes as you're walking away. All right, so we're gonna have a fun time today. We're going to basically a week from today, you guys will be turning in you guys' final assignments, and today is getting you ready for that final assignment. Over the last several classes, we've talked about the practicals of incorporating things into preteen ministry. And so in just here in a little bit, you guys will break up into groups of no less than 3, no more than 5. Okay. All right? And then I will be handing you guys a sheet that looks like this. And then as a team, you will fill this out, and you guys will have between 20 and 30 minutes to do this. Then at the end, you guys will have a spokesperson from your team, which will come up and then present what you guys came up with. Just to repeat what I said on Tuesday, you guys cannot use anything that's being presented. All right, so I'll even send out an email of all the ideas that were presented, so that everybody knows like these ideas cannot be used for your final assignment. All right. You guys can use that resource sheet that I gave you that is uploaded to CAMS. That's a great resource for games and videos and dramas and all sorts of stuff. Also, when you guys are filling out the sheet, you're guys going to find like maybe that you guys don't get through it all. That's okay. But for the sake of time, just get through as much of it as you can. If you guys are spending like 15 minutes just coming up with a theme, like you guys aren't doing it right. Just come up with a theme quick and just kind of do things according to that theme. You guys got it? Cool. So I did want to mention about the last assignment. Who here found it really hard to stick to one side? Like justice only or mercy only? Who here found that really hard? Who's just like, yeah, that was cut and dry. That was an easy decision. You guys thought it was an easy decision?
Yeah. I don't think it was an easy situation.
Of course not. It's interesting because about half of you chose mercy, half of you chose justice. For real. Yes.
I think my problem was not whether it would be justice or mercy. I found problems with both sides because we had problems at home. We have position at home. Showing mercy was not the right answer.
Right.
So that for me, that was the problem. I was fine with doing mercy, but if it meant him being at home, that's going to screw him up even more.
Yeah.
Because when he was confronted, I should just shoot everybody at home instead of going to school.
Right. So
that was his mentality. So rehabilitation at home was not the answer. So for me, that forced me to go to the justice.
See, and that's where things like that, it becomes very murky waters to try to navigate. Because just think of the position of a judge. You know, a lot of times we are very judgmental of like judges' decisions to do this or do that or whatever. They're like, well, they shouldn't have done that. Well, it's not as easy as we make it seem, just kind of looking from the outside in. You know, you guys took the position of judge. In this case, and just think about God as the ultimate judge. Anybody here ever read The Shack or watch the movie? There's a part of that book where he's put in a judge's position of like, well, which child would you have chosen to lose? And he was like, well, I don't want to lose any of them. And the judge was like, see, that's why you can't be judge. And so then that's why like human judges, we really have to understand they have a very, very, very hard job. And we are so quick to enter into that place of judgment in each other's lives, but we're just seeing snapshots. And we're making entire opinions based off snapshots. Even this kid, Luke, who pulled the gun, those articles I gave you were just a snapshot. All right, and I was asking you to make entire opinions off of just snapshots. How many times do we form entire opinions on Biden based on snapshots, or entire opinions on Trump based on snapshots? For 4 years of President Trump, we've said, okay, I'm going to listen to 5 seconds of footage, and I'm going to make a judgment about that man.
Preach.
It's being a judge in whatever area of your life is not as easy and cut and dry as just simply, yep, it's that way and no mo. All right, I'm in a position a lot of times where I have to weigh things and make decisions, but it's not always black and white. Think of the priest in Mexico who the cartel goes in and says, hey, you need to give me 50% of the offerings from your church, or I'm going to start killing your church members. And then we judge the priest because he's giving money to the cartels. It's not as easy as cutting as black and white. Life is never that easy. And if you think it's that easy, it's because you don't have the whole story.
Come on.
So I just wanted to give you an exercise in, when we're talking about critical thinking and we're talking about moving forward and helping preteens process stuff, you may have your opinions and that's great. But make sure that when you're helping these kids dealing with really difficult circumstances, that you're getting the whole story. You're helping them process all of the information, not just one verse and apply it to the whole thing. A lot of times we take these singular verses and create entire worldviews out of them, when we really need to look at the entirety of Scripture and what does it say. Okay? So anyways, I gave that to you specifically so that you can start to think about, hey, this isn't as easy as just black and white. Nothing ever is, especially when dealing with people. People are messy, always. So just FYI, you're going to be changing diapers the rest of your life. All right. Cleaning up people's messes. All right. So for next week, we are going, just to give you kind of a little bit of heads up, on Tuesday, I'm going to give you some creative teaching tools. I'm going to get some audience participation in some of it. We talked about learning styles the other day, and next week we'll actually put some of those into practice and what are the actual tools that we can use, practically speaking, to be able to teach. And then on Thursday we're going to talk about prayer ministry, evangelism, basically spiritual discipleship. How do you do that outside of a Sunday morning or a Wednesday night? And then we'll have our quote-unquote preteen party where you guys will become the preteens on our last day of class. We'll have food, we'll have games, we'll have music, and we'll kind of live it up and celebrate, yay, end of first COVID semester. All right. So at this time, I'm going to say bye to you online people. Sayonara, so you don't get to see the rest of class.